Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I got a story that's coming from my fourth favorite state, ghetto-ass Georgia. So what's going on now in Georgia, you ask? What's going on is that we have two cousins. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed, and they're not the lightest bulbs in the pack. These two cousins decided to come up with a scheme where they would file IRS tax returns and claim that they earned $94 million in tax returns. They both claimed that they earned $94 million back in tax refund, and they kept calling the IRS to see when their check would be delivered. So the IRS was like, oh wow, these two simple-minded idiots, we got them. So they told them that they could come and pick up the money because it was too large of an amount. They couldn't mail the check out, that they wanted them to come to the grocery store to come and get their $94 million. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a news clip. Y'all go ahead and check this out, and I'll come back with the rest of my comments.
Tax scheme takedown.
Did you try to get a $94 million refund?
Only Channel 2 Action News was right there next to state investigators at a bank as they arrested a woman accused of filing a fake state tax return for $94 million.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jovita Moore.
I'm Justin Farmer. The woman had little to say as officers put her in handcuffs at the counter of this bank inside a Cobb County store. Channel 2's Mark Winnie live at that store on South Cobb Drive in Smyrna. Mark, investigators say that $94 million check was just part of their scheme.
Yeah, kind of two schemes allegedly involved here. So the Special Investigations Chief of the State Department of Revenue says the bank and Kroger were cooperating, were very helpful. Couldn't have done it without him, he said. I waited inside, as did investigators. I got a flu shot, in fact, while I was staking out the situation with my camera, while the investigators ran their scheme to expose the alleged tax scheme. By a bank counter in Cobb County.
Did you try to get a $94 million refund?
Georgia Department of Revenue Special Investigations Chief Josh Waits.
It doesn't matter if it's $94 or $94 million. We're going to go after you and hold you accountable.
Says after Brigitte Jackson allegedly tried to flim-flam the state into paying her a bogus $94 million tax refund, investigators flim-flammed her into showing up at a bank and a supermarket to pick up a $94 million refund check, whereupon agents arrested her. 5
charges, including attempted theft by taking and conspiracy to defraud the state.
Waite says Ms. Jackson's cousin, Darius White, like her, claimed $99 million in income, tried to claim a mammoth refund, and faces the same charges. Though at what turned out to be a former address, agents and police did not find White, who Waite says is already on felony probation.
How did you request it? Did you need it?
It was supposed to be up to my address.
Fraud Detection Manager Kendra Carroll told us she spoke to a man who identified himself as Darius White by phone about his alleged refund request earlier this week. DOR financial fraud analyst Tamiko Harris says a call from Brigitte Jackson was routed to her earlier this month.
You'll receive your refund in 7 to 14 business days.
Yay, thank you so much. I'm so happy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Waite says the suspects kept calling in to check on their refunds, and that's how the recordings got made, and it contributed to the ability to bring criminal charges. Now, Darius White, if you're out there, I'd love to hear your side. You can email me at mark.winnie@wsbtv.com or call the newsroom. Reporting live, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
I'm just wondering the thought process of thinking that $94 million. I can't get there, Mark, but thank you for bringing us that. More details now on tax fraud. The Georgia Department of Revenue has a new fraud hotline for you to report tax-related activities you believe are illegal. Call 877-423-6711 to notify authorities. Officials have also created a new system to better review tax returns. It includes new technology to flag suspicious
returns. You guys just watched the news clip, and this whole situation is just sad. It's obvious that Bridget is a damn crackhead. First of all, look how she's dressed. Look at her hair. It's disheveled, it's blonde, it's matted. She doesn't even look like she's all there. You know, and a lot of folks are clowning them and making fun of them. And while the situation is funny, it is ghetto as hell, you know, because it's like, who in the right mind would think that they could claim a $94 million tax refund? And then who in the right mind would think that the IRS would tell you to go to a grocery store as opposed to a Wachovia or a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America to come get $94 million? It's like, it's obvious they were not thinking. But you know, what I do find sad is, yes, tax fraud is very rampant, especially in the Southeast, Georgia, Florida. We had the tax IRS queen down in Florida about 6-7 months ago. She got arrested and popped out. They gave her 20 years in jail for everything she was doing. She was stealing people's income tax returns. So yes, tax fraud is becoming a more and more popular thing amongst a lot of people. But what bothers me is that, but it's funny how they're trying to make her the face of IRS tax fraud. And it's like, she's an idiot. You know, anybody with common sense would not go out their way to claim that they earned $94 million. It's obvious this woman is high out her mind. I don't think that she's the face of IRS tax fraud. When you have a lot of people out here doing all this white collar crime, you know, writing stuff off as taxes, writing stuff off as business expenses, as taxes and everything else. They're sitting here doing a lot of this crime and they're not paying any attention to them. You know, the people on Wall Street, I don't recall any police cars, any news cameras being there. I feel like this whole situation is just a joke. You know, anybody with common sense would not try and file a $94 million tax refund. They literally saw some low-hanging fruit and they just went ahead and picked them. You know, it's obvious her and her cousin are not all there. I just find the whole situation just crazy. I'm not shocked. But I don't understand why folks are like celebrating and rejoicing and, you know, just laughing when you really got folks out here really stealing identities, out here really doing some serious tax fraud. And these idiots are doing nothing but trying to get their next fix or trying to get high. Because I don't see how any sane person would think that they would be able to get back $94 million and that would not raise a red flag for the IRS or for the police department. You know, so hopefully they'll be able to get the whole tax situation and the whole tax fraud situation under control. I know I had a few subscribers when I did the last video who told me that, you know, that their identities were stolen and that people intercepted their W-2s and, you know, they filed on their behalf and took their money and, you know, this was money that they were waiting for to, you know, do things with their houses, with their families. So it's really real and it's real people being affected by this. And I just think the whole situation is sad. I think they need to catch more people who are doing that as opposed to these two idiots who filed $94 million in tax returns. You know, I just find the whole situation is really damn ridiculous. Anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire ghetto-ass situation that's coming from our fourth favorite state, ghetto-ass Georgia. All right, deuces.